Okay, so I am in my journey. If you've been following my other videos, I'm on an adventure, which I do a lot. And this one takes me to some places that bring back up the past. I used to drive through these areas. There's three ways to go. And I can go south, or I can go through the middle, or I can go north and get to this same place. It's about a 3-hour drive. And my navigation this time took me through the middle, which is the most familiar way for me to go. It is also a way that takes me right through my past. I used to live over here like 2 hours into this drive, and there was good to it. There's always good. If you look, you can find the good. There was some good things. I know I was there on purpose. I know that God instilled some things in me and trained me in some ways, sparked some interests in me that I am actually using in my calling. It was part of his plan. I learned from it. I grew from it, but it also did some damage. Sometimes things do come at a cost, but in the end, they're worth it. But I want to say this, that in going through this one and going through this middle direction, the in-between, the middle ground, sometimes going through things that bring up our past are hard, but they're worth it. They're worth it. And this time as I come through, there was no anxiety. There was a little apprehension for a second. When navigation said, let's go this way, I was like, do I want to do that? Do I want to drive through there? And it's interesting to see the changes. You know what? It's a beautiful drive. And I've just made it through that town that I just lived in. But I used to have a business in that town, all kinds of things, which is now a liquor store. That's horrific. But mine was a Christian little coffee shop that you could walk in there and feel the inspiration. The other end of the building that I rented was actually a church. So to see that turn into a big giant package store, to me, they're not called spirits for no reason. A lot of evil can come from that. And, but whatever. There's some therapeutic in it too, if it's done the right way, even biblically. So, but that's not what we're getting into on this. It's a whole nother discussion. But I had a very traumatic stay in this town, and it was to the point where you can see the bridge behind me. I would come past this bridge, actually coming back from the town, which I am going to today. It was my getaway. It was, I would go get supplies and things for my store that I had. And on the way home, I would stop on the other side of this bridge, go down there. There's a little launch pad down there. I would go down there and just listen to the waves, listen to the water, breathe, pray, psych myself up for going home is what I was doing. And even after I'd done it, I was in such a controlling relationship that I would be texted or called the whole time. And where are you at? You should be right here. You should be here. You should be here. Timelined it out. And I would have to explain if I was not at that certain point. I'd have to explain what I was doing and why, and things like that. But the whole relationship had a lot of control and some terrible verbal abuse and a lot of just detrimental behavior. It was not okay. But God delivered me from that. And as a result, I have a whole nother side of ministry that I never would have had because I couldn't relate to them had I not experienced that. So I did come to a place of thankfulness for those experiences. And I still thank God to this day that I'm not there, that I don't have to go through it anymore. So of course it causes a little bit of feelings as you think about going through the places where you've been. And in that respect, places like that, hurtful places, even after stopping over here at the lake, I would go home, pull up into that driveway, and that house was a beautiful home. But it was so ominous to me, the negativity and the bad that was there and the experiences that I had to go through, that I would just sit in the driveway and cry before I would ever work up the nerve to go on in. And I don't have to do that anymore. because my God delivered me. Life is full of restoration if we will let him, if we will give it to him. Now, when we are released from things, I could have made the choice to stay there, but God released me, and God even made a way out, and he made the enemy pay for it. So, vengeance is his, not ours. It's not up to us to fix anything, to correct anything, to pay anybody back ourselves. It's just, if he gives us a release, you do the best you can and you go. You just go. Restoration can't come. The healing can't come anytime in these situations while you're still there. The healing will not come. You have to remove yourself from the situations for that process to begin. So I just want to let you know it is possible. What we pour into our spirit works wonders. It can either be bad or it can be good. It's either going to have a negative effect or it's going to have a positive effect. It's either going to cause trauma or it's going to cause healing. So even as I made this journey, I am so filled with joy and overflow, but I am listening also to sermons and things that edify, things that lift up. I ain't putting garbage into my soul, into my spirit, and I'm okay. Jesus will never leave me nor forsake me. And he has me on a path now that is so exciting. I can't even pretend to not be surprised at what he's doing in my life and in my future. He's a good, good God. He's a good, good God. Don't you give up where you are. You keep moving forward. Your past doesn't limit you anymore. All right. It's your past for a reason. Your future, y'all, it's wide open. It is wide open. And whatever God has planned for you, accept it. We stop short thinking, well, I don't want that. You don't know what all that entails. It might be the best thing that ever happened to you. If God says go, you go. If God says do, you do. Accept what he has for you. He knows everything about you way more than you do.